Ladies and gentlemen, have you ever felt like you were on the verge of something incredible, like God is preparing something huge for your life, and yet the road ahead seems uncertain? Well, there's a beautiful truth in this. When God is about to bless a woman with something big, she will see certain signs along the way. These signs aren't just coincidences or random events. They are divine whispers guiding her to her breakthrough. Today, I want to talk about these 7 signs that can show us that our blessings are near. These signs are not just moments of change, but moments of growth, transformation, and alignment with a greater purpose. So if you've ever wondered if you're on the right path or if your blessings are about to unfold, stay with me. Let's dive into these signs together and step into the greatness that God has in store for us. When we find ourselves in times of uncertainty, it's easy to become discouraged or frustrated. We look around at our circumstances and feel like we're not where we're supposed to be, or that we've been waiting far too long for something to change. It's during these moments that we question whether we're on the right path or if we'll ever see the breakthrough we're longing for. The concept of trusting in God's timing can be a difficult one to grasp, especially when things seem to be at a standstill. But there's an undeniable truth in the idea that God's timing is perfect, even when we cannot immediately see it. We live in a world that thrives on immediacy. Technology, social media, and modern conveniences have conditioned us to expect quick results and instant gratification. When things don't happen as fast as we want them to, it can feel like we're failing or falling behind. We might even start to doubt our worth or wonder if our dreams and prayers will ever be answered. This is where faith in God's timing becomes crucial. It's important to remember that the pace of our lives is not governed by the world's expectations, but by a divine plan that sees the bigger picture. God's timing is never late, even though it often feels like it. Sometimes the delays and the waiting periods in our lives are not signs of failure, but rather signs of preparation. We might not understand the reasons for our delays, but they could be a part of a bigger story that is being written for us. We are constantly being shaped and molded in ways we might not even realize. God, in his infinite wisdom, knows what we need and when we need it. Our perception of time, our impatience, and our desires might cloud our ability to see things from his perspective, but his understanding of what is best for us far surpasses our own. Take a moment to reflect on the journey you've been on up until this point. Think of the times when you prayed for something, but the answer didn't come right away. How many of those prayers were answered at just the right moment, even though you didn't know it then? Perhaps you can look back and see how a seemingly delayed blessing actually saved you from something that wasn't meant for you. Or maybe that delay led you to a place where you learned valuable lessons, gained wisdom, or became stronger in ways that you couldn't have imagined at the time. God's timing often requires us to let go of control and to trust in something greater than ourselves. We may try to rush ahead, to push doors open that are not yet ready to be opened, or to force our way into situations we believe we are ready for. However, in doing so, we may miss out on the lessons or experiences that God wants us to have before we step into the blessings he has planned for us. Sometimes waiting isn't just about patience. It's about being in the right place emotionally, spiritually, and mentally to receive what we are asking for. If we are not yet ready, even a blessing in the wrong season could be harmful. One of the most powerful aspects of trusting God's timing is that it allows us to have peace amidst the uncertainty. Instead of worrying about the future or trying to figure out all the details, we can rest in the knowledge that God is at work behind the scenes, orchestrating events in ways we cannot see. When we place our trust in God, we surrender our need for control and open ourselves up to a deeper, more profound trust in his ability to lead us exactly where we need to be. Consider the story of Abraham and Sarah from the Bible. God promised them a child, but years passed without any sign of that promise being fulfilled. Sarah, in particular, grew weary of waiting. She knew the promise God had given her husband, but the longer she waited, the more she doubted that it would ever happen. In her impatience, she took matters into her own hands and encouraged Abraham to father a child with her maidservant Hagar. The child, Ishmael, was born, but he was not the child that God had promised. It was only years later, when both Abraham and Sarah were far beyond the age of having children, that God fulfilled his promise by giving them Isaac. This story is a powerful reminder of the danger of rushing ahead and taking matters into our own hands when we feel that God's timing is taking too long. While God had a perfect plan for Abraham and Sarah, their impatience led to complications that extended far beyond what they could have imagined. In the end, God's plan prevailed, but it required Abraham and Sarah to trust him fully and to surrender to his timing, even when it seemed impossible. Sometimes we may feel like we are too old, too late, or too unprepared, but God's timing is never dictated by our circumstances. What he has promised will come to pass no matter how impossible it may seem. Another key aspect of trusting God's timing is learning to wait with purpose. Waiting does not have to be passive. While we are in the waiting period, we can choose to grow, learn, and prepare for what is coming. Waiting allows us to develop patience, to refine our character, and to deepen our relationship with God. If we rush through the waiting process, we may miss the opportunities for growth that are crucial for our personal and spiritual development. Waiting with purpose means using the time wisely, working on ourselves, building our faith, and trusting that God is teaching us lessons along the way. In times of uncertainty, it's essential to remind ourselves that God's timing isn't about punishing us or withholding good things from us. It's about preparing us for what is to come. Sometimes the delay is for our own protection, and other times it's because God is aligning everything in our lives for something far greater than we can imagine. We may not always see it, but the waiting period is part of the process of making sure we are ready for the blessings ahead. It's also a time for us to develop a deeper trust in God's faithfulness. When we understand that God's timing is perfect, we can let go of the fear and anxiety that often accompany waiting. Instead of focusing on what isn't happening yet, we can begin to focus on what is happening in our hearts. We can choose to trust that everything is unfolding exactly as it should, even if it doesn't make sense right now. Our job is to stay faithful, to keep praying and to keep moving forward in the direction that God has called us to, knowing that he will make everything beautiful in its time. It's also important to remember that while God's timing is perfect, it doesn't always match our timeline. Our sense of urgency may not align with the pace at which God is working. However, we can take comfort in knowing that God's plan for us is always for our good. When we trust in his timing, we begin to see that waiting is not wasted time. Even the delays, the setbacks, and the moments of waiting are all part of the bigger picture. They shape us, refine us, and make us stronger. As we navigate through life's uncertainties, let us hold on to the truth that God's timing is perfect. Even when things don't make sense, we can trust that he is at work. We may not understand the reasons for the delays or the pauses in our lives, but we can rest in the assurance that his plan is always for our good. Our waiting is never in vain. It's a part of God's beautiful process of preparation. As we trust him with the timing, we open ourselves up to experiencing the fullness of his blessings at just the right moment. Life is often described as a journey filled with both triumphs and trials. For many of us, the trials seem to come with greater frequency than the triumphs. During these challenging times, it can feel like everything is working against us, as though the universe is conspiring to prevent our success or happiness. Yet one of the most profound truths that we must learn to accept is that challenges are not just obstacles. They are often the foundation for the greater blessings that are yet to come. When we are in the midst of difficulty, it can be hard to see how our struggles will lead to something better. But history, both personal and universal, has shown that hardship often precedes the greatest breakthroughs. We live in a society that glorifies success, often without acknowledging the amount of effort, sacrifice, and struggle that was required to achieve it. On the surface, it may appear as if some people have an easier path to success. But when we dig deeper, we realize that the most extraordinary achievements often come after overcoming incredible adversity. Think of the many great leaders, innovators, and artists throughout history who faced significant obstacles before they could experience the success that they are now known for. Their struggles were not random. They were part of the process that shaped them, built their character, and prepared them for the greater work they were destined to do. The challenges we face in life are not roadblocks, but stepping stones that can elevate us to a higher level if we allow them to. One of the most important things to recognize is that challenges have the power to reveal our strengths. When life is smooth sailing, we rarely discover what we're truly made of. It's in the tough moments when we are pushed to our limits that we discover resilience, patience, and endurance that we may not have even known we possessed. These qualities are forged in the fire of adversity, and without them, we wouldn't be equipped to handle the blessings that lie ahead. It's easy to take for granted the strength we have when everything is going well, but true strength is revealed when we are faced with hardship. For instance, a person who has gone through financial hardship may come out on the other side with a better understanding of how to manage money, a greater appreciation for financial security, and the wisdom to make more thoughtful decisions about spending and saving. A person who has faced the loss of a loved one may emerge with a deeper sense of empathy and compassion for others and a clearer understanding of what really matters in life. These experiences, though painful, often shape us into the kind of person who is ready to receive the blessings that come with that growth. Moreover, challenges have a way of forcing us to get out of our comfort zones. We all have a natural tendency to stay in situations that feel safe and familiar, even when they don't serve our best interests. But when we are faced with challenges, we are often forced to make choices we wouldn't have made otherwise. We may have to step out on faith, take risks, or try something new, decisions that could lead to incredible opportunities. Without challenges, we may never be pushed to take the leap of faith that leads to the success we desire. It's only when we face difficulties head on that we are given the chance to see our true potential and push beyond what we thought was possible. Consider the journey of someone trying to achieve a dream. Whether it's starting a business, pursuing a career in the arts, or overcoming personal obstacles like health issues or family struggles, the path is rarely smooth. The journey is filled with setbacks, obstacles, and moments of doubt. There are times when it seems as if success is just out of reach, and the weight of the struggle becomes overwhelming. But it is often in these moments of struggle that something incredible happens. We learn to persevere, to keep going even when the road ahead seems impossible. This perseverance is what eventually leads to the achievement of our dreams. The challenges we face along the way serve as the training ground for the greatness that is yet to come. Without these challenges, we may never have developed the strength, wisdom, or resilience needed to truly appreciate and manage the blessings we are about to receive. Another important point is that challenges often force us to become more adaptable. Life has a way of throwing unexpected curveballs at us. One day, everything seems to be going according to plan, and the next, we're faced with an unforeseen challenge that turns our world upside down. In these moments, we must learn to adapt. We may have to change our approach, our mindset, or even our goals. While this can feel uncomfortable, it is through this adaptability that we grow and expand. The ability to adapt to new circumstances, to pivot when things don't go as expected, is a skill that is invaluable in life. It's what allows us to keep moving forward even when the path we had planned for ourselves is no longer available. This ability to adapt to challenges is what prepares us for the greater blessings that will require flexibility, creativity, and problem solving. Let's not forget that challenges also have the ability to deepen our faith and trust. When we are faced with difficulties, we often find ourselves turning to God, seeking answers, or praying for strength. It's in these moments of weakness and vulnerability that we learn to lean on something greater than ourselves. We begin to realize that we cannot control everything, and we must trust that there is a greater plan at work. This trust and faith are often tested during our most difficult moments, but it is precisely this process that strengthens our relationship with God and prepares us for the blessings that are on the way. Without challenges, we may never develop the deep trust in God that we need to fully embrace the abundance that He has prepared for us. There is also a transformative power in learning to overcome challenges. When we face difficult situations and come through them on the other side, we are not the same person we were before. We are changed, often for the better. These experiences shape us, mold us, and refine us like a diamond being cut and polished until it shines. The challenges we face are not meant to break us, but to build us up. They remove the impurities and weaknesses that may have hindered our progress, leaving us stronger, more focused, and more capable of handling the blessings that come our way. The idea that challenges are the foundation for greater blessings can also be seen in the way we appreciate and value what we have. When everything is easy and we take our blessings for granted, we often fail to recognize how precious they are. But when we've had to fight for something, when we've endured hardship and struggled to reach a goal, we come to appreciate it on a much deeper level. The struggles we face give us a perspective that allows us to see the value in our blessings and to approach them with gratitude and humility. We understand that what we have achieved is not just the result of our own efforts, but the result of overcoming obstacles, persevering through challenges, and remaining faithful through it all. Life may not always be easy, but when we can shift our perspective and recognize that challenges are not the end, but the beginning, we can approach them with strength, determination, and hope. Each challenge we face is an opportunity for growth, and each struggle is a step closer to the greater blessings that are waiting for us on the other side. If we learn to embrace the lessons that come with hardship and use them as the foundation for our future, we will find that the challenges we once dreaded will become the stepping stones to our greatest blessings.